just going to grab this bag out. If something happens, like a snake crawls out fast, I will be able to handle it. Don't scream, don't yell,
Yeah.
it'll just get me nervous. If it comes towards you, get the hell out of the way.
If it's coming on the floor, pick up your feet.
Maybe I'll do that in advance.
Right there. This is how they're transported out of the field, or in these snake bags. A little more too. Thanks. Put it on that table way over there. The trick is to try and encourage them to crawl into a tube. And it is a trick because they don't often always want to go there. So normally what we do is get these to start crawling out. Oftentimes they'll just crawl into a tube, but just as often they might get nervous, especially with lots of people around. So this is
I'm just going to scan the bag just to make sure.
okay. Virtually all of these have been microchipped or pit tagged already, and they're all going back in the next couple of days. So that beep says you've got a hit from a pit tag.
Sorry.
If this goes on to any weird Facebook, YouTube, you may not disclose the location of these animals.
If anything goes wrong, I think we'll put it on World's Dumbest People instead.
Darwin Awards.
Let's get this thing out of the way. Oh, you wanted to get it right into the cooler. Let me try and do all this side. So you'll notice that we try, there's really no reason to hold these snakes by hand, like we do on strange TV shows. So we're going to get the snake out of the bag into the cooler. It'll start crawling around, and hopefully at that point we'll be able to encourage it into the tube. Then when it's in the tube, part of it is trying to figure out the size of the animal so we get the right size tube. Just stay put for a second. It'll probably start rattling, start making sounds. Don't get excited overly.
Do they have names? Do they have names? These guys do. They just have numbers. John, Dave, Sally.
Well, it's slow enough. Let's put it right on the top of the table. Put the right angle. Push it down. Ready? Yeah. It's right on top of the table.
are often pretty reluctant to rattle.
This one a boy or girl?
Girl.
Ah, she then. Sally.
Sure.
Grab that.
Do they get stuck in the tube?
All right, it is
Occasionally.
turned around a little bit in the tube, but it's so thick, you can see that it's not really going to be able to get out, but I do want it to put its head forward in another minute or so. And you'll notice that it probably will start rattling, it just hasn't yet, so I don't know. But you can take a look at the rattle on there. Every time they shed like a new segment. I just want this to see if we can get it to go around head first. Okay, Anne's left the room.
That wasn't good.
I
Wait.
don't think that was the plan, was it?
Beautiful. Can I touch?
Sure.
Scaly. They look velvety though.
We estimated this thing is at least 12 to 15 years old. And you can only estimate that,
Well, that one's the one that's only missing the button, so it's,
no, so more like 8 or 9.
yeah.
All right, this is the one, okay. You can pet it if you want. Well, you can touch it, it's not really petting. Don't tickle it.
No?
It's surprising how laid back this species is. But it's relatively cool, and this thing we caught just the day before yesterday. And we caught it. I can't say with all the cameras on. At her research site. So, part of the issue is that there are some people claiming, you've had these before, John, and this thing is likely to let out a big poop here any second.
Yee, put your hand right there, buddy.
So don't put it over the data sheets.
Yeah. Do you have any paper towels in here? Just not all right.
Yeah, behind the computer over there on the...
No. All right. Can you grab some paper towels? This is not going to be pretty. I think caterpillar poop was fun. So we take lots of measurements. We count the scales in the belly, under the tail. There is sexual dimorphism in the tail's length. So make sure they squeeze themselves in this. This smaller piece. Just touch it around, see if it's forward with itself. It's immobile. Yep.
Keep an eye on the head.
You betcha. You ready?
I will be in 1
So
second.
part of the process, all of this is being worked up at the Roger Williams Park Zoo in Providence, Rhode Island. They're doing all the surveys for the blood. And this will take, to get it there, we could get one of you to drive it for 3 hours to get the blood sample, but they have a system where they will, it's all going to come out on you.
I know.
It's on you. So let's do this thing down.
They're not actually doing anything with the cloacal swabs as of yet, but it's one of those, while the snake is in hand, these can be frozen and analyzed at a later date for presence of virus or other pathogens, so
Lucky guy.
But
they just told us,
they
all
can,
you did, got the snake in a tube.
they can only analyze the blood 2 or 3 days a week. So you can take these samples, get them into a styrofoam cooler with some ice packs, and then ship it overnight to UPS to the zoo. So tomorrow morning they'll have it and we'll start.
Which zoo?
The Roger Williams Park Zoo in Rhode Island, in Providence. They've got a contract to work with Massachusetts to do this initial survey.
Why don't we do the blood over here since I have all the stuff laid out?
Sweet.
Thought I heard something. What do you want the poop to look like?
Okay. It's
Oh,
gonna end
now
up
he's
all over
rattling.
me at this rate.
Good. So we all got trained in this technique. Yep, thanks, Tim. Keep it ready. And it's a matter of getting this tiny little needle down into the midline under the skin to hit this caudal vein. And you'll see when she hits it, you'll be able to see the blood just sort of automatically
Squirt.
come up towards the syringe. There it is. See that? And the trick is to just keep it in place so that you have enough of the sample. So after that, it's like, the assumption is it's like anyone else getting a needle. At first stab is they feel it and then they calm down. So this is relatively new stuff that because of people who are claiming they're seeing a lot of disease and fungus that's killing snakes, it's hard to know. It'd be nice to be able to get an idea of what a healthy snake's blood sample looks like compared to those that are infected, hoping that we can catch an infection, if there is one, before we see all the fungus on them in order to treat it earlier.
They doing that with the bats too? Oh, yeah,
The
no.
bat issue, they've done this with bats for sure. In fact, we just had one meeting and 2 conference phone calls with the bat white nose syndrome people who have already given the snake people a huge amount of steps forward to not waste time in stuff that they had to argue with, decide with. They said, get yourself a protocol, but be clear, do it right, do it scientifically, so we have an idea of what's really happening. So this is part of that.
If this was human or mammal blood, it would have clotted like 2 minutes ago.
So they don't clot, huh?
It clots a lot slower than mammal blood.
There's like a powder too you can put in there so it doesn't clot, right?
For humans and cats, you mean mammals?
Say that again?
Isn't there like a powder you put in so it doesn't clot?
Yeah, so some of this is actually going to go in a heparinized tube that prevents it from clotting. Let's see if it's already enough.
Does he get a Snoopy Band-Aid?
I don't even see a drop of blood, do you? And maybe that's a drop there, could be from my finger. But there's really, it doesn't even show the needle was so small. But, you know, you can have some issues with this, and so we usually will put some, for a lot of these things, we'll, even in just inserting pit tags, put an antibiotic on them, at least some topical one. Most vets don't think it really does anything except make us feel good, but that's all right.
Are we done with this drawing?
Yes.
All right, so she's making blood smears now. This is a technique that's really, it's only some people are good at. And it's getting some drops of blood, holding a glass slide at an angle, and then literally smearing it so you get just a thin layer of cells. You want this back in the bag or in a...
We might as well keep that one
General
separate because it's
population.
not going with the other one, you know.
Oh, all right, let's put it back in the bag if we can. Everybody get a chance to touch it before we go in? Anyone else? Lee, did you get a chance? Well, just feel what it's like. Most people don't get too many chances like this.
Not every day you get to put
I
a
guess you get one
rattlesnake.
chance.
Let me touch the rattle again. I didn't touch the rattle. I just touched his. It's cool. It makes noise.
The
as you
blood,
touch it.
no, it's sort of like you having an IV. You don't really feel it. But in this case, the snake has to be of a certain weight for us to even do this. So we can't do this with little snakes. So they have to be over several hundred grams in order to feel comfortable with taking a couple of milliliters, a couple of cc's of blood out of them. Otherwise, it's just that we believe probably distressful. So we're way over the minimum limit with this snake and with most of these others.
Like 200 grams is the cutoff, so.
For the smaller size?
Yeah. This is like a 700 gram snake.
No, you're going to hold the bag with your hands.
Still think you should name them.
Well, the ones with radios under my name.
Yeah? What kind of names do you give them?
Some of them are named after people I know.
That are snake kind of people?
Some are named after what color they are in relation to what type of deer they look like. They only did 2 of these, but there's a real art form to this, so I figure I'll just make like a pile of them and then pick the best 2.
Makes sense. Oh my god, we had the 2 Tims together and Tom. Don't bruise her.
So the idea is to minimize any potential contact with the animal, and it's not restrained. So there it is, backed up and processed.